Excellencies, heads and deputy heads of election management bodies of Bhutan, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Mauritius, Namibia, Nepal, Russia, Sri Lanka, Tunisia, Uzbekistan, and heads of ABAB and IFES, other representatives from EMBs and international organizations, my fellow election commissioners Shri Gyanesh ji, Shri Sandhu Sahab, colleagues from the Election Commission of India, ladies and gentlemen, and all the heads sitting on the dais, every one of them being a personal friend, very warm welcome to you to India. Namaskar. It's an honor and privilege for the Election Commission of India to host this conference on a very, very relevant theme, and it's very timely after the world has seen the elections in more than 70 countries. We are thankful to each one of you for your joining this deliberation, so critical for our times and for our democracies. I hope that you have had a chance to recover from the long travel and properly rested by now so that we can have the deliberations throughout the day and tomorrow. We have had a very eventful year 2024, which witnessed about 70 national elections being held all over the world. I congratulate the EMBs which concluded these elections in their own countries in 24, and I am moving with the faith that these elections would have contributed to deepening of democracies in your own countries and definitely world over. The diversity of democratic systems worldwide can be measured in a global election year quite well. Each country has a unique political landscape, culture and history, which determines the way elections are conducted and understood by the citizens in their own countries. Many challenges that have emerged in conducting elections world over are, however, common or similar in design, at times to disrupt at very critical phase of elections. Narratives to create distrust often hit at the very vitals of the electoral process and often are timed so. A global election year brings forth the dynamic nature of democracy itself and renewal of the democratic connect between the governments and the governed. Democratic values are tested comprehensively and reaffirmed in the process. The practices also throw up difficulties and complexities. The factual profile sets a fair narrative of EMBs, not only retaining the electoral spoils worldwide, but also expanding the same. As we know, about 70 national elections were held in 24. This includes the general elections to the House of People in India, concluded on 6th June 2024. The scale of India's election is the largest in the world, with 647 million voters, over 1 million polling booths, and about 15 million polling officials. So that's the scale and magnitude of our elections. Large number of security and supporting staff are deployed, and we deploy around 5.5 million electronic voting machines to conduct these elections. Friends, these numbers might be mind-boggling for you. It is one of the biggest exercise of peacetime movement of man and material anywhere in the world. That's what is the magnitude of our elections. I wish to highlight that in particular the Indian elections saw an increased number of 312 million women participants participating in the elections, a noticeable increase in the participation of 85 plus voters, PWD voters and third gender voters. The voting was enthusiastic even in difficult and challenging circumstances. Overall, Indian general elections present a verifiable case of free, fair and participative elections. Let me quickly assure you that the whole exercise of polling was concluded in a peaceful manner across 7 phases, with almost nil confusion on the ground, and the results were declared in just a single day. Election Commission of India being the constitutional authority, is immune to any form of undue influence, particularly from the government. You will get a chance to hear about the general elections 24 held here later during the conference. In this conference, we have endeavored to narrow down the topics to a total of 6 to retain focus and bring depth to discussions. Electoral expectations, challenges, success stories of EMBs, and noticed setbacks are all crucial for creating a mosaic for future references and advancement. You must have already seen the proposed topics for each session. Inclusive and accessible elections are a priority for all of us. Inclusive elections ensure electoral equity representing all voices, which in turn foster trust in democratic institutions. It emphasizes removing barriers for marginalized groups, persons with disabilities, minorities, women, and economically disadvantageous populations. We at Election Commission of India have made our dedicated efforts in this connection. It would be important to know the experience of all of you in this respect, which we'll go through in the next sessions. Capacity building programs are crucial for enhancing transparency, accountability and efficiency within democratic institutions like EMBs. Training and explaining SOPs to close to 15 million personnel was really a challenging task for all of us in ECI. Any mistake by one of them had huge risk of being magnified out of proportion. So there are 10.5 lakh locations on which even if one mistake, it could have been amplified to create false narratives. As a necessity, hence, ECI invests massively in training programs and capacity buildings for its staff and officials to ensure competence and zero error in carrying out electoral duties. As an anchor for efficient and flawless delivery of free and fair elections, the ECI established the institute called India International Institute of Democracy and Election Management in 2011. IIIDM is an advanced resource center of learning, research, training and extension for participatory democracy and election management. IIDM is also designed to organize training programs for electoral management bodies world over. More than 2,977 international participants from 141 countries have already benefited through 140 programs conducted by IIDM. Besides looking closely at the way some of us conducted our national elections in 2024 and the learnings out of that, we'll try to take a pointed look at the role of technology in election management. The first 2 decades of 21st century have seen the progressive integration of IT and information communication technologies enabled systems in elections world over. We use electronic voting machines, allow voters to verify their votes through verified paper audit trails attached to the EVMs. The Commission has also leveraged technology options, especially digital technology, over the last decades and paving the way for newer avenues of voter facilitation and inclusivity. From the preparation of the elections to the engagement of voters, movement of man and material, disclosures at each stage of the process, management of polling stations, declaration of results, technology is embedded in each step of the election process. Technology presents, however, both opportunities, efficiency, transparency, and so on and so forth, and also challenges, cyber security threats, misinformation, and many, many more. We need to streamline the way we handle the challenges caused by advancement of technology to mitigate risks like cyber security threats and misinformation. Social media poses significant challenges to electoral democracy of late, and we may have a closer look to deal with it individually and in our own context and collectively. The state-of-the-art, robust, secure, and user-friendly technology is also a must to keep disclosing and engaging with electors on a real-time basis. While accuracy of the content which we display on our websites is a sine qua non, Sometimes speed has to take over while countering fake narratives. It's a constant battle between accuracy and speed while we are dealing with social media and fake narratives. The 𝗖cie official website is the digital face of the 𝗖cie. We created a page titled Myth versus Reality, which used quite useful in arresting the menace of fake news. Friends, everyone, today and tomorrow, we also propose to spend time on projecting into the future of elections. The future of elections in democratic countries will likely be shaped by advancements in technology, evolving governance practices, and growing concerns over cybersecurity, voter engagement, transparency, role of social media, and increasing disputes and the way the disputes are tackled. Possibly the following are some of the components of election management of the future, if not all, like increased use of technology, use of artificial intelligence in political campaigns and in conduct of elections and in election observance, wide uses of electronic voting mechanisms best suited to each country, online voting and digital ballots, biometric authentication while voting, overcoming cyber security threats, overcoming impurities of inducements for voters, ease of settlement of post-election disputes, increase in global collaboration, and timely detection and prevention of disruptive fake contents on social platforms. These are some of the illustrative areas of future management. Looking around, I wonder what more each one of us can do in our own respective countries and together in community of democratic nations to give elections not only an assurance of solidarity but also a new shine and shape of a common hope. But I have faith that by putting our heads together, we'll achieve that. In order to share and learn from best practices, collaboration facilitates knowledge sharing, technical and financial support, accountability monitoring, and conflict resolution, thereby strengthening democratic norms and governance worldwide. Programs enhancing institutional capabilities and international cooperation are fundamental to sustaining democratic practices globally. These emphasize the multifaceted efforts needed to strengthen electoral democracies worldwide. We are committed to it and would do our best to mutually grow and get a assured footing at our workplace. Together we will succeed in remedifying any pathological condition infecting our crucial business. That's what is our belief, and that's what we intend to discuss in next 2 days. We also aspire that our common concerns and conclusions emerging from this conference can be presented tomorrow as an outcome document or a declaration stressing the imperative of sustaining successful electoral democracies worldwide. 𝗖cie will be, friends, celebrating the National Voters' Day on Saturday, 25th of January across the country. Number of registered voters in India has recently crossed 900 million. That's the size. And the National Voters' Day is dedicated to the Indian voters. The President of India will be present at the national level function in New Delhi. It is my pleasure to invite all of you to attend this function. And I also take this opportunity to invite you all to witness the country's Republic Day parade on 26th of January, a glittering spectacle of India's width and depth. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have a wonderful stay in India and take back to your country's lifelong memories, professional and personal. Thank you once again for coming over and gracing this conference. We look forward to a very productive conference and great time together for next 3-4 days. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.